All right, Canadian wine lovers, join us for a fun Wine Wednesday. We're going to be chatting value wines and a lot more. So stay tuned. Here we go.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's
Cheers.
Wine Wednesday.
Happy
Cheers.
Wine Wednesday, Canadian
Carl,
wine lovers.
okay?
Carl's Wine Club members, Mira Boucher, all of you across the country. It is a snowy day here in the Okanagan.
This
So,
is, I present to you Carl, who just shoveled the biggest mega driveway ever
so here I am. Mira
because
pulled
the
me
snow
out.
blower was not available.
Not available. The strap was broken, so it was all of a handwork, and yeah, that was a heck of a process. But the kids now have a giant pile of snow to play on, and Dad is half
That is
tired.
that is key.
Yeah, and but we're ready because we have a lineup of five wines, four but three, which is one of the best available value wine across the country. And today, this week, we've decided that on the flash last week on a phone call that we're going to do a flash feature because we felt that it was time for Carl's Wine Club member to get their hands on an incredible value proposition. Okay. It's after holiday season. Cellars are depleted. We've featured already some premium wine. It's time to get your hands on how's Marcel Morgenstern calls it? Cellar cellar insurance. Okay, so it's time to restock. And wow, we have Burnship Bay this week. Not well, there you go. It's not the first time that we feature Burnship Bay. It's maybe I think it's the second or the third time, but I'll tell you, they are now 10 years into their project at Burnship Bay with the promise of delivering some of the best value wines across the country, but keeping the winemaking and the grape growing at the highest level possible. So we're not talking about wine o'clock wine or a copper moon or any of these brands that make wine from grape concentrated and shovels of sugar to chaptalize. No, we're talking about real viticulture. We're talking about homegrown vineyard. We're talking about estate grown fruit. We're talking about a winemaker who makes some of the top wines in the country. So this is a real project at an incredible price. So I always feel privileged to be able to get our hands on that, especially for our people in Western Canada and outside Ontario, because this brand here, Burnship Bay, but also for Ontario, because you know what? They've been out of the LCBO because they ran out of stock so quickly last year. So the 2023 Pinot Grigio and the 2023, yes, we're just January 2024. And believe it or not, I got the 2023 Sauvignon Blanc before we turned to 2024. Okay? These wines are stunning and they are 15.95. So I don't know. Sorry, I just went on the rant, Mira. You go ahead, talk a little. Like you're on mute, but I want your opinion because I want you because I mean, okay, how can I put that out? You don't have the 25 years background wines that I have. You have a that palate that can you tell me the truth all the time. I mean, there's no geeking out on your side. Well, you're starting, you're getting there, but there's no that. Do you always tell the truth? And you have that immediate reflection, the immediate answer that I find to me it's so representative of the 80% of the market, or not 90% of the market. So I want your own opinion. I want you to talk to the member and let them know what do you think of this these 4 bottles that we have.
Absolutely. I mean, I tell the truth. I mean, you tell the truth. We all tell the truth. It's just that I think what you're trying to say, Carl, is I don't know enough about, well, maybe you're not saying that, but here's my deal. I don't know enough about wine to say anything but exactly what I think. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's the thing. And that's why it's kind of fun, because you got Carl, who knows like 30 years worth of tasting wine as his profession. And then me, who started drinking wine during the pandemic. And sure, I've tasted what now? About at least 2,500 Canadian wines. So that's my education. That's all I know. I sipped it.
Learn on the job. Learn on the job.
Do I like it or not? And probably that's like a lot of you, right? Like, really, that's what matters, right? Happy Wine Wednesday, Karen. I just want to take a second. I got to say, Rob Hammersley from Black Market Wine Co. is joining us from the Sunshine Coast in Australia.
Is he already there? What?
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
Oh, quick that he made that happen. He texted me yesterday afternoon that he tried to get there. He was in the car on the Zoom. Okay, let's put it that way. We had him on a Zoom call at 10 a.m. yesterday morning, and now he's on the Sunshine Coast in Australia. This is teleportation, for God's sake.
Must mean there's someone in the family that works for an airline, potentially.
Maybe.
And it's funny because Pierre is saying his daughter's in Perth. So, you know, you're small world. Yes, Lorna, our job is a tough one, but I know I envy it too sometimes.
So there's some.
Yes, so what I wanted to say is, you were asking me what I think of the Birchip Bay wines. You were. And if you recall, the first time we tasted these wines was about 2 and a bit years ago. It was the first time we featured a wine under $20, including tax. And we were scared too, because we were thinking, well, we've only featured more, you know, a little bit more premium wines. Pretty much everything we've featured, we feel really strongly is really high quality. And then we're like, what will people think if they're used to that? And then they get like a wine under $20 where, you know, sometimes you don't have the same kind of wine you might have at 25 or 30, right? So you might think, oh, what is this? Well, we tasted the Birchip Bay wines. I think one of the first ones we had was the
Sauv Blanc.
Yeah, but then when we went live, we actually tasted Me Blind.
Oh yeah.
An $8 wine, a $16 wine, and like a $33 wine. And the $16 wine was the Cab Merlot from Bellaterra. Or sorry, from Birchip Bay, right? Birchip Bay. We'll talk about Bellaterra too in a second. But Birchip Bay, and I was blind on it, and I'm so glad that I got it right, because it would have been pretty embarrassing. I don't know if I mixed up the order.
I mean, there's a few things that you always look for quality wine. Doesn't really matter which price it is. Well, it always matters what price it is. But I mean, when you have a wine under $20, I mean, you look for a little bit of complexity. You look for layers of taste. You look for a bright acid. You look for a little bit of length and an interesting finish. What I don't want is a disjointed wine where flavor are scattered, where there's holes in different part of the wine, where there is a sweetness that absolutely threw me off, where sometimes it's a sign of chaptalization or an over oak and bad usage of oak. So I like all of these things, I try to avoid that. And I cannot sometimes just do it on the nose. I mean, it's just smell awful. So when we go with Birchip Bay, every time when you blind taste me on Birchip Bay, I mean, I always bite, because these wines over deliver so much. I mean, that's Sauvignon Blanc. Let's start with the white, because we have the Pinot Grigio and the Sauvignon Blanc on the white too. There are 2 white that they made, because they make 4 wines. They make a Cab Merlot, they make a Reserve, and they make a Sauv Blanc and a Pinot Grigio. So the Sauvignon Blanc, is so defined in terms of flavors that I remember doing the Ontario Sauvignon Blanc report all the way back in probably November, I believe. And we have like 15 Sauvignon Blanc from all over Niagara, all over Ontario. And something that you get with Sauvignon Blanc, it's that flavor definition, that pinpoint acidity, that grassiness. And these wines had an average of $32 or so high. And this burnt ship bay can be into that mix of $32 to $40 Sauvignon Blanc and held his own without a shadow of a doubt. So this is pretty incredible. Grapes, 100% of these grapes are estate grown. So the people at Burnt Ship Bay, they don't purchase grape from all over Ontario, bring them back to the winery, press it and bottle it. They have the control on their viticulture. And it's the same for all of the grape varietals. So now, I mean, Sauvignon Blanc is becoming a classic around the country. The demand is getting higher and higher, but the price is getting higher and higher. Obviously, no wood in there. There's no oak treatment. It's 100% stainless steel. But what strikes me is the bright acidity, but the flavor definitions. This is true Sauvignon Blanc. I give it a 91 points. I mean, I felt like I was drinking literally a $30 wines. So incredible jobs, mostly from the Chorus Vineyard in the Lincoln Lake Shore appellation. But I mean, this is an absolute hit. Looking for a crowd pleaser, my 89 points Pinot Grigio. This is what I mentioned in my tasting room. This is the Italian Niagarian Italian grape varietal. It's more Grigio style than Pinot Gris. It doesn't have that I would say the softness and the round palate, a little bit like Alsatian style. This is bone dry, but this is more Italian, direct to the point, simple but effective, fresh, Pinot Grigio to the T, like nice orchard fruit, nice peachy, little structure of lemon, like the citrus, decent finish. So keep that in mind. $15.95. So there's not a whole lot you can complain about that. You look for a crowd pleaser, that Tuesday wine that you can crack open, either watching a TV show or whatever it can be. This Pinot Grigio won't disappoint because it's that simple but effective $15.95 Pinot Grigio. I just love it. To me, that's the one you buy by the case because you can always pour that open for any reason, any circumstances. This is going to do the job. Now, we need to get the cat out of the bag because we have we planned that on the fly because I don't know if you guys know, but the Burnt Ship Bay program, the Burnt Ship Bay concept is owned by Marcel Morgenstern with his business partner, Lou Puglisi. So Marcel, who's the sales and marketing director at Bellaterra, and Lou's the owner and the grape grower, joint venture 10 years ago to create that Burnt Ship Bay label. No tasting room, no front, but the promise was to deliver, mostly at that time to Ontarian, an outstanding value wine for their proposition. Now they're 10 years in, believe it or not. These two whites, 2023, it's their 10 label of Burnt Ship Bay. Now, we put the pack together late last week over a phone call talking about the Pan-Canadian edition number 2, believe it or not. And we started to talk about Burnt Ship Bay, and he told me that, there's some new release and this and that. And Mira and I on the flash were like, we absolutely need to feature that in the club, a flash feature, because people need value wine right now. This afternoon, I'm talking to Marcel. He said, Carl? I said, yes, Marcel. I think I forgot to mention something to you. Wow. The 2020 Reserve Red, the only of the 4 wines was not $19.95, not $15.95, but this wine is $19.95. It's the Reserve Red 2020.
And it's the vintage of this century.
2020.
The vintage of the century, yes.
Where most of these outstanding grapes or from the estate at Bellaterra. They put a few barrels of Merlot Cap from Malbec aside. They said maybe one day we're going to do a reserve red for Burnship Bay where we're going to blow people's mind, where it's going to be incredible. It's going to be the greatest wine of all time under $20. And he kind of forgot about that. So now the thing is, he realized this afternoon that 2020 is nowhere. It's nowhere in the country. That it's not on any retail shelf. It's not on their website. They're selling right now the 2019 Reserve Red. So it is a Carl's Wine Club exclusive release of a wine that I tasted early this week on Monday afternoon when we got the box, fresh from an overnight UPS, that a 1995 wine with that body, that structure, the round tannin and everything for that price, it's absolutely ridiculous. So talking with Marcel, and like, okay, this wine's not going to be released if there's any left. This one, they only produce 200 cases, exclusively 200 cases. And he said, if there's any left, that's going to be on the website at Burnship Bay for $25.95. So, Carl's Wine Club members have access to a unreleased wine from the 2020 vintage, grapes from the Bellaterra home vineyard for $19.95. So, I mean, how can you beat that? This is absolutely crazy. So yeah,
it is pretty insane. It just keeps getting better with these guys. I love it.
So these wines at Burnship Bay, they're not only wines that are sold at the LCBO. Their wines were featured at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. So the Burnship Bay is the official wine of the Hockey Hall of Fame. And it's also the official wine of the business class in Villarreal. So for a program as big as Villarreal, I mean, I understand that this is not the most refined wine program in the world, but to have it in your business class has to be something pretty darn decent. So
absolutely,
this is pretty spectacular. We have the 2022 Cab Merlot. That is one of the wine who didn't make it to Western Canada because of our snowstorm.
Yeah, so it was in a separate package. It was supposed to be out for delivery this morning, and
weather delay.
Yeah.
I spoke with the new sommelier. I spoke with the new sommelier at Bellaterra. This morning, he cracked the bottle open because I wanted his opinion. And he said, Carl, it's a fruit bomb. This wine is shining so much right now. This is so easygoing. He said, I mean, you can pound a bottle of that in an hour with a couple friends. This wine goes down so easily. So I haven't reviewed it yet. Stay tuned. I'm going to give it the score. But the Reserve 2020, I give it 92 points. And I will give you a few reasons for that. First and foremost, it's $19.95. Second, it's from estate-grown fruits at one of the best producers in Niagara-on-the-Lake, made by Fred DiProfrio, the same winemaker who makes all of the stunning Bellaterra wines, made with the same details and the same precision that the whole line at Bellaterra from the 2020. This wine right now is just entering his peak. The oak profile has completely melted into the whole frame. The acid is bright. It's juicy. It's black fruit. It's cocoa. There's that little bit of a backbone tobacco, and there's at least a $30 to $35 finish and complexity. So I'm just like, how the fuck can they do that for that price? Marcel said, Carl, Don't worry about that. It's not about the money. It's about to have something sitting here that I know that I can blow people's socks off like they won't even believe what's in their glass. And that's the whole purpose of Burnship Bay. So, I mean, this is right there, 1995, 92 points. I'm just like, wow. So there's an exercise that. So I'm testing you here because in front of you, you have 3 red. You have the 2 white. It's the 2 2023 Grigio and Sauv Blanc, which you already tasted.
Yes.
In front of you, you have 2 $65 wines.
Okay.
One from the Similkameen Valley. One who's neighbor of Bellaterra in Niagara-on-the-Lake. 3 times the price. And I want you to tell me which one is your wine. Which wine is the Reserve Red 2020? They're all from 2020 vintage.
A cross-country comparison. We've been doing that a lot lately.
Yeah. I mean, it's not about who's the best. It's not about who's crushing the other. It's about how incredible and how Burnship Bay are putting their balls on the line every single bottling to deliver an incredible value like that. And just is mind-boggling. Now, I want to know if our friend Daryl is listening tonight. I heard that he found a bottle of 2020 Burnship Bay Cab Merlot at the LCBO at one of the store LCBO somewhere in Ontario today or yesterday. He messaged me. He told me that he's going to crack open that 2020 Cab Merlot and let me know. He said he didn't have a big expectation because it might be passed because it's a $15 wine, right? I'm willing to bet that wine, 2020 Cab Merlot Burnship Bay, not the Reserve Red, still absolutely rocking. I'm convinced.
Okay, so you know what's fascinating here? I mean, you label the glasses, so it's not much of a blind tasting, but
you didn't have to tell people. Mine are not, though. And I thought I would.
You know how to smell something. I mean, Carl, when he smells a wine, he'll be like, oh, yeah, this is probably Similkameen. It's probably 2020 vintage. It's probably Cab Franc and this and that. That's what Carl does. Me, on the other hand, I'll tell you what went through my mind earlier today. My throat's been a little sore today. I can't tell if it's just super dry. I think I might be getting a little sick. I don't know. I'm sipping some of this Sauv Blanc, and I think to myself, it has alcohol. I'm almost swirling, I'm swirling it around in my mouth. What if I gargle with it? It might get rid of my sore throat. So Carl looks over at me. He's like, what are you doing?
What the fuck is going on around there?
But it worked. It helped my sore throat.
I'm having a throat treatment. I said, no, we're tasting Sauv Blanc for God's sake.
So I'm like, Anyway, that's a simpler approach to wine. So what I want to say is that if I taste all 3 together, the Burnship Bay, this is the 1995 one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the other 2, which are double or triple the price.
Triple both.
Triple both.
Because one is $64.95, including tax. The other one is $55.95 plus tax.
Okay, so if I really sit here and think about it, I would probably say this is slightly less expensive, but I would not say it is 3 times less expensive.
Mm-hmm. That's the point. That's my point. It doesn't
stick out. It doesn't stick out.
Like a sore
thumb. It's not like I taste these 2 at $60+ and then I taste this one and I'm disappointed. No, because that often happens. Like we often taste, an $80 wine and then you go and taste a $25 wine and you're like, oh, whoa, big difference, right?
Let's keep that metrics 3 times, okay?
Yeah.
20 to 60.
Yeah.
That's 3 times the price. Let's bring it back to 30. If you have 2 wine at 30, how the wine at 10 will stick out like a sore thumb.
Oh my God, yes.
So now I'm putting here, okay, Ferox 2020 Reserve Merlot, It's one
Okay.
of the best Merlot that I've tasted in the last 5 years. This is freaking unreal. I was dancing like a kid after his first dance on the Friday night to kiss 3 girls that night. I was so over the moon about that wine that all weekend it was like I couldn't believe it. The other one, did I just say that? That doesn't make any sense what I just said. I don't know why. I'm sorry. That's the sinus
You shoveled
infection.
a big driveway. I mean,
I'm
it's been a long
sorry,
day.
sorry. Like I keep bringing my high school time, like live, like that. It's completely sorry
Kind
about
of
that.
cute. It's kind of cute. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
no. So the other one, I don't know if you've heard Claude du Soleil. So Claude du Soleil is a small producer in the Similkameen Valley, which made some top premium wines, small batch. I mean, incredibly highly rated. So I have the 2020 Syrah, the winemaker series here with me, which is a finesse Rhone style, South of France style, like beautiful Syrah blended with co-fermented with a bit of Viognier. So we're talking about two world-class
Gosh,
wine.
that's good.
And I got this big boy here, the 2020 uh, Burnship Bay Reserve Red, who absolutely stand up, sit there, flex his muscle, and say, you know what? I'm part of that game.
Yeah.
This
So
doesn't look out of place. It's amazing.
it doesn't look out of place. If you sit there and you're a wine nerd like we are and you talk about it, definitely the $60 plus wines have added layers of complexity. They have added, ageability potential. They have just beautiful flavors and smells and everything. But like you're saying, that's my
Sorry, I just read
because it doesn't.
Daryl's
Well, now we
comment.
have to explain that joke. I will tell the joke. Okay, I will find the meme and tell the joke. But that's the thing about the Burnship Bay Reserve is it does not stick out like that. How many wines under $20 have we tasted, Carl, where you're like, it might be under $20, but it's not really super enjoyable to begin with?
I mean, there's a market for that. There's a reason, like an 88 points, like 17.95. There's a place for that. But I mean, it feels, it smells, it feels, it tastes. It's 88 point for a reason. It's 17.95 for a reason. No, these ones. Okay, remember, like less than a month ago, we featured Bellaterra, and our number 2 value wine of the year, the 2021 Bellaterra Cab Merlot. Okay, well, I'll tell you one thing. That Reserve Red has the same score at the same points. It's not a Bellaterra label. It's a Burnship Bay label. It was supposed to be made for a completely different demographic. This wine over-deliver. So if you ordered the Bellaterra Cab Merlot, if you put it versus the Bellaterra Reserve Red, the difference is there's more richness, there's more depth, and there's more juicy fruit, more dark fruit. The Bellaterra Cab Merlot was more on red fruit, a little bit more pungent, a little bit more feisty. But this Reserve Red is much richer, bolder, and yeah, I mean, incredible. I just can't believe like what you get for that. Oh, hey, by the way, we also have a contest.
Yes. So, okay, back to the Hockey Hall of Fame, Burnship Bay, over 10 years now that they have been the official wine of the Hockey Hall of Fame. They supply this great charity with their wine. So let's see, there they are next to Pepsi and Whitewater. Perfect. And so there on one side, you see Marcel taking the selfie, and then the other gentleman next to the blonde lady there with the blue checkered tie. That's Lou Puglisi, the grower and founder of Burnship Bay with Marcel.
And owner of Bellaterra.
Yeah. And the other 2 people, I assume, are from the Hockey Hall of Fame. So here's the deal. They are giving away 2 sets of 4 tickets. These are worth $100 each for the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. I know that many of you are not planning to go to Toronto in the next few years. In that case, we could maybe sort out a consolation prize for you and give the tickets to someone else. But if you're planning to go to Toronto, this is an amazing spot to visit, Hockey Hall of Fame. And let's face it, it's hockey season. So
And
you
we're
can
Canadian, forgot. We're Canadian. I mean,
there you go.
it's hockey season.
So
Um,
every 6 packs purchased gets one entry into the draw, and we're going to pick it next Wednesday. And I believe Marcel from the winery is going to join us live. So
Absolutely, Will. He had other commitment tonight, so he couldn't join us. But I mean, what else to say? It's an incredible value. It's fun to have
yeah,
2 sets of 4 tickets to give away, even if you're not maybe your nephew or your grandkids or whatever. You know, people are going to go there, so it's a great price. $25 per piece, $100 total. So I know that. I almost bought a case to put my name twice in there, but Mira told me that I couldn't. So
I think we do have more than one case coming to our house, actually. Frankly,
yeah.
we've lost count. We have so many packages coming back and forth. But okay, so also wanted to mention before I tell the joke that Daryl is alluding to about, art and pretty funny why Carl is distracted. So Montreal Habs winning 2-0 new versus New Jersey. Awesome. Although, what are you, Carl? Not a Habs fan, but that's
No,
okay.
no, absolutely not. And people might mistake him because of my accent. Yes, I'm from the Belle Province, and les Canadiens are like almost every child grew up cheering for le bleu, blanc, rouge. But I was born close to Quebec City, and I'm a big, big, big Quebec Nordiques fan. Played at the old Coliseum, and I have anyway. So no, I'm not a Habs fan. But you know what? Yeah, that's fine. Go Habs, go for tonight. Why not? Is
Is the
Vicky's watching
Habs
it?
and the Nordiques, are they kind of like two camps, a little bit like the Yankees and the Red Sox?
Yes, yes, yes. You can never, like, if you're a Red Sox fan, you never cheers for the Yankees. You can't. If you're a Ravens fan, you never cheers for the Steelers. This is something that you can't.
And if
Right?
you were a Nordiques fan, which no longer exists, by the way, but if you were, you will never be able to cheer for the Habs.
Can't.
Right?
I can't. But it's been
Okay.
it's been a long time, right? 1996 when the Nordiques moved to Colorado. I mean, it's been quite a few years past now. Spent almost 20 years in Calgary. I developed a true love for the Flames. I hate the Oilers pretty much as much, if not more, than the Montreal Canadiens. But
Oh, no.
living with hatred like that, it happened only for sports fans. And I know Mira tells me that it's not healthy to dislike something at that point, right? But that's Northern Quebec, boy. You
Okay, so
okay?
let's go to why Daryl is saying that perhaps Carl is distracted by the art at our house. This is the joke. There's some members, okay, a few of us who have a little private chat where we share inappropriate jokes. All right, if you want in on this, let me know. We share.
We'll add you to the private chat, and you're more than welcome to be part of our.
It started with wine jokes, but now it is just anything to do with anything inappropriate, right? Okay.
Right.
So this was the inappropriate joke I shared today. I said I heard it is important to expose yourself to art. Right? So
I
there's
mean,
a lady exposing herself to art, right?
I mean,
So
it's very important. It's very, very, very important. And I preach that every day in my house.
So that's when Carl mentioned that we have some nice art at our house. And why Daryl is saying that perhaps Carl is distracted by the exposure to the arts.
Absolutely. And Mira doesn't know, but I put painting all over the bedroom this afternoon. So when she walk upstairs tonight, I'm going to be like, there you go. Time to expose. So that's the little sidetrack segment here at Carl's Wine Club. That sidetrack segment was sponsored by
art gallery to sponsor us. Right?
There you go. So
all right.
so
one thing I wanted to mention, okay, you said it before, Burnship Bay, this winery that makes these unicorn wines that are severely underpriced at the moment, that I am sure the price will be going up. Like you said, the 1995 Reserve, which we are the only ones in the country right now that have access to, when they actually release it, it's probably going to be closer to 25 or 26 bucks.
They made the decision. It's going to be released later in the spring, if there's any left. Later in the spring for $25.95. And the reason is, there's a reasoning behind that. It's 2020 vintage. 2020 has just produced some wines were unicorn, where they it's rare to reproduce. And there's extra barrel time in this red. So it's kind of a super reserve. Let's put it that way. And for 1995, already at $25.95, it's over delivering. So they've decided to when release. But you know what? That gives us a boost that you can say, hey, you're saving $5 a bottle of a 92-point wine. And usually these $5 discount per bottle, it's usually for wine who doesn't sell. It's usually for the overstock. It's usually for something who piles up in the warehouse. There's a vintage in front of it, and we have to so let's cut all profit.
It's not always a bad wine. Sometimes you get good deals in that way, but very often it's not because it's the best wine.
It has to get out the door. It has to, because no, this is the opposite. This wine have been sitting in barrel for something special. And I don't know. It's like that relationship, the 3 years relationship with Bellaterra Burnship Bay, and we got that gift. So Carl's Wine Club member, it's only available for us until the spring. So 1995.
And I know, Mike might be on. Some of these members that remember our Carl's Wine Club labeled wine, right? That we had a few barrels set aside for us, and we had made into the first Carl's Wine Club wine. And we kept saying we need a 2020 version of it.
If that would taste like that, holy shit, I will be.
We missed the boat on the bottling of this because there should have been a Carl's Wine Club label on it. Maybe Marcel can still put a little
emoji,
Carl's Wine Club stamp on it or something.
The emoji, like, the emoji line.
This is the one. I mean, the value that is packed in this wine is outrageous. And I'm not joking. Like, maybe we should talk to him about this. If he's given us until March as members to have early access to this one, maybe every new member needs to have sort of access to order themselves 6 or 12 bottles.
Oh, I mean, you can't find better value than that. Yeah. Okay, so
we were founded in 2020. And 2020 was the vintage of the century in Niagara. So there should be some special Carl's Wine Club wine related to that, shouldn't there?
I mean, who would disagree with that? Not me. So
here's another thing I gotta say about this wine. This is this 1995 2020 Reserve from Burnship Bay. The perfect wine to confuddle all your friends at a blind tasting.
Oh, fuck yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Especially on the price point.
Absolutely.
Right?
No, absolutely no doubt about that. If you need some brown bag, I'll ship them for you. I'll ship brown bag for you for free.
Yes, we have lots of brown bags with like numbers on them. If you want for a blind tasting, we got a little placemat and the brown bags and everything. So we'll send that out to you for free if you want to do a blind tasting of these with friends. It's a good call. What are you tasting right now?
I'm on the 3 reds, and I mean the Clos du Soleil now is. I opened it 2 days ago, so it's really like the Syrah. It's meaty. There's so much finesse in that Syrah. I mean, it's not Okanagan. It's South Similkameen. It's really rugged, but there's that Viognier who brought some roundness, a little bit of spark in the aromas. I mean, this is absolutely freaking fantastic. And I mean, I can't have enough of that Merlot. I mean, it's been open for over a week now, and but that's the difference, right? The Ferox Merlot and the Burnship Bay 2020 Reserve Red. I mean, I don't have to geek out on the Reserve Red. The Reserve Red is just, I overappreciate it because it's just so right there. It's in front of you. It's in your glass and it's ready to go. That Ferox is going to be a geeky experience. It's going to be an experience for 12 years. I mean, but these are completely different purpose. But to have that reserve red in the middle of these three, in these wines, I think that's where it makes it. Everything makes so much sense, or make any sense of that 1995. That's like you put that in the middle, and you totally belong. Absolutely freaking belong.
The
And I'm
finish
telling,
is so long. It's on par with these $65 wines.
it totally belong. And I'll tell Marcel on the phone call tomorrow. Hey, you need to grab a couple of $60 bottle of wine and just go out and blind taste these some more. No, I don't want him to sell the wine, so no, I can't tell him that. But I mean,
He's listening, commenting. It's too late, Carl. Cover is blown.
Yeah. No, but that exercise will be absolutely eye-opening, even for our famous super somm from all the wine region or the Toronto, or they think that they know everything. This wine fucking belong with some great wine. Like I've just been saying, that Merlot from Ferox 2020, it's the best Merlot I had in 5 years. This is incredible Merlot. I don't have I can't rationalize. I like it so much. And this wine belong. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It really is.
I've not said that it's better, but it belongs.
Oh my God, that Ferox Merlot though, I get so much like chocolate or something on the nose.
Yeah, chocolate and red cherry and like dark cherry. That cherry wood.
Yeah,
like,
so that's maybe the difference I learned early on. These wines, the $20 and the $65, they're both fantastic wines, very enjoyable. If I sit there and think about it, it's much easier for me to place words in my very limited experience to what I'm tasting and smelling with the more expensive wine. The flavors and smells are more well defined. They're still both extremely enjoyable. It's really interesting. Yeah. Are you doing the VIP shipping thing again? Daryl, yes. So right now on our carlswineclub.com website, you can see the archive, the famous archive that no one believes existed anymore because it took so long to get happening. It is actually live and not password protected. It's been like that for a couple days. So if you are not a VIP Unlimited member, you can also see what this looks like. This is all of Carl's tasting notes and scores that he's given during features. There's more coming from different things that we've done. The alleged archive, yes.
It's true. It really exists, Daryl. There's 800 tasting notes now.
700 and something. But anyway.
Come on. Let's run it up here. 800.
So you can actually search Burnship Bay at the top right of our website, and you'll find the previous vintages and what scores Carl's given them and all that sort of stuff. Here, I'll put the link to our website to the archive.
And where you're going with that is, yes, the VIP Unlimited will also be available. We're giving extra time to people. Even now, they all expired technically because it's been a year and the deal was a year of free shipping.
We never gave you the archive, okay? And there's a couple giveaway months that we didn't do. So we know that. That is our bad. Absolutely not for lack of trying or lack of investing many hours and many thousands of dollars into
thousands of dollars down the drain with the wrong coding partners and the wrong freaking people. Anyway.
Yes, there are, we have started to actually help wineries on that side of things because there are a lot of people who claim we can help you with your things, with your website, with your social media, with your whatever. And they do not actually really help you. And anyway, we found that out the hard way. So did we figure out if the 20 Cab Merlot is still kicking? Well, Daryl's on. Daryl, did you end up opening it? I don't know. He sent me
Come on, Daryl. Let's get to work here. Let's go, Daryl. Boom, boom. Jeez, we're all waiting for that, and there's like
The big
people are
reveal.
listening.
Okay.
Okay, I
It's
want
still
these.
kicking, he says.
I want tasting notes.
See, I wouldn't be surprised. We tasted Marcel when we were there in Ontario a couple years ago. You brought out like what used to be a value wine from Piliteri that was like 20 years old. And no, it was still kicking and it was glorious.
That was a 1999 Piliteri Cap Franc Reserve.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't forget that kind of thing. I still have the flavors in my mouth.
Incredible, right?
So I'm expecting Daryl by the end of the show to have a full tasting note completed, the score, and please also
we'll put it in the archive, Daryl.
Also food pairing, please.
Yeah, so yeah, as far as the VIP Unlimited, yes, we are doing it again. We're getting ready to send that email with what that entails and the extension and your login info and lots of fancy things. So sorry it's taking so long, but we're very, 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 very close. I know I've been saying that for a year, but here we go.
Yeah, the Daryl Wine Club segment. Absolutely. On a week, once a month, we're gonna have Daryl for 15 minutes.
Well, I was gonna say,
you know what? And I want to have that as a rant on the LCBO. Can we do that? That will be Daryl doing a rant on the LCBO.
A rant. A rant.
Hey, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, yes. Okay. So can we do this, Carol? Can we do a blind tasting with this $20 wine with someone that has not tasted it like we have for the last few days? Can we blind taste a couple people somehow? I guess it's been open for how long? How long has it been open for?
Oh, I'll tell you something, sweetheart. I'm done that in 7 minutes, and I'm rushing to the pharmacy. I'm going to go get some antibiotic, and I am not blind tasting anybody tonight.
No, I'm not saying tonight. I'm not saying you have to go find people on the street to blind taste tonight.
I have to finish the driveway, okay? So I already blind taste one person. It was you.
Okay, thank you.
I know I know what you mean. We want, like, sometimes it's good to get out of our own bubbles and see what outside people think of our fantasy because sometimes
well, no, yeah, but it would be fun, especially for local members. So I mean, this is why we got to build up this little network of local people here who can, we find a unicorn, we can send you a message and say unicorn found, meet us at 5 p.m. so you can taste it, right?
I guess.
Daryl says he got the 2020 Cab Merlot for $15.95, including tax, by the way, at a Shell gas station, LCBO on Highway 6, top shelf by the heater.
Oof.
Okay. So
Oof.
Not exactly stored in pristine cellar conditions,
but
it survived nonetheless.
Oof. Okay, now that changed that might change the course of the of that poor thing. That's definitely
right now. I mean, that's a miracle in itself.
It's absolutely. Oh man, we have too much fun here. I need to hit somewhere where I can get something
for your sinus infection.
Feel better.
That's good because you know what? We have Vicky says it's closed here. Well, did they have more bottles, Daryl? Because I mean, you might just have caused a rush on that poor little highway.
Okay, and the thing is, I want to know how warm the heater was blowing when you got there. Fuck.
There you go. Well, we have extra children in the house.
Two more.
So go get
up and down and up and down and up and down and warm and cold and warm and cold and a little warmer and a little warmer, and it's January. Put it out a little warmer right by the heater. Whoa, that will be awesome. Let's take it offline, Daryl. I want to know more. Let's take it offline.
Love it. It was so good to see you guys. I think we got to go and feed the children, the many children in our house. We have a pizza that needs to be picked up. 2 pizzas,
But
actually.
oh, okay, there you go. Why not, right? So yeah, but it's always fun to do that kind of comp. I mean, that's to me, it always keeps my sense awake. It always put thing in perspective, right? We taste so many wines. Sometimes we get carried away by irrelevant details sometimes, and I put irrelevant between bracket. It's not very irrelevant, but it's not necessarily what people want to know. But when we talk about QPR, when we talk about value proposition, you reach everybody. I mean, who doesn't like a good deal? Come on, let's be honest here. Who doesn't like a good deal? And you have good deal, you have pretend good deal, and you have some freaking amazing deal. And this one is in the category of, are you kidding me? So yeah, here you go.
And I want to end on a nice little note and mention something about upcoming club events. So if you recall, Bellaterra was our Members' Choice Winery of the Year 2 years ago. So the first time we did the Members' Choice Awards. Those are coming out soon. The short list is coming out. So we need you guys to vote on our 2023 Winery of the Year. And if you recall, it was Bellaterra and Black Market Wine Company. Now, the same winemaker and grower at Bellaterra, our Members' Choice Winery of the Year, makes the Burnt Ship Bay wines, right? Same team behind both. So that's where all that incredible value is coming from. You're capitalizing on the fact that they didn't have to go and like start a winery. They just developed out of an existing successful winery, which is really
and actually also increase the vineyard holding, which was the key in the operation. It's to, in all of that, if you own and you manage the viticulture and you have a guy who's a farmer by trade, I mean, you're in business. Like, I mean, they increase their vineyard holding. They have one of the most experienced viticulturists, grape grower, and here you go. There you go. Here we are. I think
one of my favorite pictures, right? They're holding each other's wines. There's Fred DeProfio at Black Market Wine Company. So Niagara transplant to the Okanagan. There's Rob, who's tuning in today from Australia, of all places. Rob holding one of Bellaterra's wines.
And we also have that same pictures. That we also have the same picture, but in Niagara, when Rob went to visit Brad. So that's where we're all in the middle. And now we're going to release the dates, which should be June 15th in the Okanagan, in the South Okanagan, for the Pan-Canadian version 2, the BC experience. And we're in the middle of the planning. We already have some Zoom meeting with teams around the country. So stay tuned. That's coming up very soon.
There we go. So there's the Pan-Canadian coming up in June. We are going to be in Niagara in April. We will do some interesting and fun things at the end of April in Niagara and possibly again in the fall, because I'm thinking that the Members' Choice Winery of the Year events might be smart to have those happen in the fall, because on June 15th, we've got the Pan-Canadian happening in the Okanagan. But don't despair. If you can't come to the wine countries, either in the spring or in the fall, we do plan to be in other places. Montreal, most likely in July, because Carl's brother is getting married, and other cities. So more to come. What's so funny?
June 15 is a Chenin Blanc Day. So John is the best. I love John. He always have some pinpoint information. So pragmatic and a little funny. I love that. John, you're the best. Thank you for tuning in. It's always great to have you around. So for the 2024 nominate and vote for leading post in Ontario Winery of the Year. Well, thank you, Daryl. I mean, stay tuned. The short list coming soon. I think you have some insight, an insider connection at the Carl's Wine Club head office, and we'll keep you posted on that. But you know what? It's been a great hour. It's been great to chat with you, to share that crazy, amazing QPR. So we have, this is Burnt Ship Bay flash feature. It's going to be available until the rest of the week, the end of the week. We have 2 whites at $15.95, the brand new late bottled Pinot Grigio and Sauvignon Blanc. So both fresh out of the bottling line, crisp and over delivering. Also the 2022 Cab Merlot at $15.95, and the Reserve Red from the 2020 vintage at $19.95. So we split it in 3 different packs. If you want to customize, go ahead. But we have your 6-pack with 4 reds and 2 white for $99, including tax, with a flat shipping fee, with a small, very highly subsidized. And
shipping.
for every 12-pack, it's free shipping countrywide. And yeah, you can do the mixed pack with 6 red and 6 white. You can do the red pack only, which would include 9 of the Cab Merlot and 3 of the Reserve Red. You can build your own Reserve Red case.
With your pack, do whatever you want. So that's fabulous. You do save a little bit if you go with the flat packs. You know why? Because Marcel likes nice numbers. And so it was like, oh, it's 203.40 or something like that.
No, $199. $199.
Yeah. So
yeah. So anyway, this is the value QPR of the year. Get on that 2020 Reserve Red exclusively for Carl's Wine Club. It won't be anywhere else. So get your wine there. So Mira Boucher, thank you so much for
thank you, Carl Boucher, and thank you guys. This has been super fun. Let's chat again soon, and we'll see you next Wine Wednesday, possibly sooner if something crazy happens in our world.
If there's a bottle happening, arriving from by mail or something, we'll let you know. So Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members, thanks for joining. See you next week.
See you soon.